What's up, everybody? I am back with a new chaotic lore video, and today we'll be covering the Danian Odu-Bathax. Odu-Bathax is a high-ranking Danian warrior. Most of his time he dedicates in protecting the north gate of Mount Pillar. Odu commands legions of mandiblores and squad leaders. Odu commands legions of mandiblores and squad leaders stationed there. A lot of the Danians hold Odu in high regards and has great respect for him. The only one they respect more is their queen. Unlike some other parent creatures, Odu doesn't really care about searching for the Kataka. He's probably one of the handful that don't. Odu only cares about defending his queen and defending the North Gates. However, if he has been instructed to help search for possible whereabouts of the Kataka, he'll go. But he doesn't have personal investment in the relic. You can find Odu-Bathax in the Dawn of Perm and Reservoir Reclaimer in Alliance's Unraveled set. Odu-Bathax kind of resembles a stag beetle, but I could be wrong. It's never made clear about that. Odu is a unique Danian that walks on his hind legs. Odu has a rock-hard exoskeleton that offers really good protection from most attacks. Odu also created the attack Pillar Quake thanks to some hardcore training. On his own accord, Odu-Bathax is fairly reasonable, willing to work with others if the situation requires it. He even let most of Sarah's friends leave Mount Pillar after they were trespassing. However, if ordered by the Danian Queen, Odu won't hesitate to put his own feelings aside to the betterment of the Hive. It's never made clear who Odu considers friends. Of course, he likes the Danian brethren, but outside of that, you can make the claim that Pris Mondino and Teg of Toborn are his friends. After the war with the Marillions working so close with each other, there were mutual respect earned. Odu even showed up to pay respects for the late Tangoth. Where enemies are concerned, anyone who goes against the Danians like the Marillions are his enemies. Odu-Bathax's favorite locations are Mount Pillar, Initiative, Wisdom. When Mount Pillar becomes the active location, activate Hive until the end of the turn. Flavor text reads, the Danian homeland provides vital structural support to the underworld ceiling, explaining why Kaor has resisted its demolition. Glumok Swamp, Initiative, Courage. Earth attacks deal an additional 5 damage. Damage dealt by fire attacks is reduced by 5. Flavor text reads, for every different reasons, both Proxus and Antedion choose to call this murky mess home. Mount Pillar Reservoir liberated. Initiative, Danians. When Mount Pillar Reservoir becomes the active location, each player infects an uninfected creature they control. Flavor text reads, the Danians' lifeblood is also the root of the Mepedians' hatred. Favorite battle gear is the Valeric Shard. Equipped creature gains Earth 5. Earth attacks made by this creature deal an additional 5 damage. Favorite attacks: Arbor Smash, 5. Stat check, Courage 50. Your engaged creature gains elemental type Earth until end of turn. Pillar Quake, 5 attack, additional 5 Earth. If opposing engaged creature is Danian, Pillar Quake deals no damage. Odu-Bathax was born as a Mandiblor, the lowest Danian class. They are grunts essentially, and their primary job is to protect the hive with their very lives. Odu sought to be something more. He believes in the Danian tribe and its queen. That was good enough for him. Odu busted his thorax day in and out fighting for the hive. Odu has done such a great job, in fact, he was admired by his people and promoted from Mandiblor to squad leader to battle master, which is rare among the hive. We're first introduced to Odu in season 1, episode 7, Bugging Out. When Sarah is captured by Danian guards in Mount Pillar, Tom and the others part to the location to rescue her. However, they are also captured after Tom tries to scan Odu-Bathax. The trio find Sarah and meet her Danian friend / informant, Wama. The Danian guards take the humans to Odu-Bathax. He was more annoyed than angry that chaotic players keep sneaking into Mount Pillar to scan stuff. Odu just wanted them to leave Mount Pillar for good, under the condition that one of them stays behind as a warning to others. Sarah hatches a plan. She tells the others to leave and has Wama discreetly knock out the guards to allow her to escape. Next time we see Odu is in season 2, episode 2, Dangers of Diplomacy. Tom is on a scan quest for a Rasnus scan. Him and Kaz, while waiting along the pathway to Kiro City, they see Rasnus get ambushed by underworlders. They try to help, but the humans can only do so much. But the trio are aided by Danians. Being a trusted ambassador to the Danians, Odu-Bathax came along to make sure Rasnus makes it home. But Odu only helped because he couldn't allow the underworlders to ruin Queen Alexia's plans. Upon Rasnus' recent visit to Mount Pillar, the Danians secretly infected Rasnus with a Danian parasite. It might take some time, possibly a couple of hours, for the transformation into a Danian to be complete. That's why it was crucial for Odu to get Rasnus back to Maxor. Once infected, the creature will be loyal to the hive, and Rasnus will proceed to infect Maxor and many others in the overworld capital, hopefully to further increase the hive. But the plan was foiled thanks to Tom realizing what had happened to Rasnus, thus stopping Maxor from getting infected. However, Rasnus would escape back to Mount Pillar as a Danian. Odu shows up in episode 21, Rasnus Returns. Odu leads a troop of Danians with Rasnus among them to dig themselves into Bodil's arsenal. Odu subdued Tom, Bodil, and Okiex while Kaz escapes to find Maxor, but he finds interest in overworld guards instead. She and Rasnus get into a fight despite the latter's objection and the former's disgust for the seemingly a for him being seemingly a betrayer. But the fighting soon ends when Maxor shows up and reveals the Riverlands had fallen to the Marillions, and Rasnus finally gets to explain the same thing happened to the Danians' reservoir. That's why Odu was brazenly attacking. The Danians were desperately trying to find a new home. Maxor tells Odu to deliver a message to Alexia that a truce must be had in order to fend off the Marillion threat. Odu shows up in episode 24, Triple Threat. Odu, along with Tangav Toborn and Prince Mondino, help train their soldiers to learn to work together as a unit for their upcoming battle against the Marillions. It was a struggle at first because of our long, bitter grudges and differences of tactics. But that all changed when the troops worked together to stop a mind-controlled Lystone from manipulating them and potentially killing them. In episode 25 and 26, Last Stand Part 1 and 2, and episode 27, Legions of Aun, Odu leads an army to Mount Pillar Reservoir to reclaim it and take down the Marillion who took it over, Neith-Uar. At the same time, Maxor, Kaor, and Imparu were battling the Marillion's leader, Aun. Once he was defeated, all other Marillion psychic powers were neutralized, making it easier for Odu to finally destroy Neith-Uar, saving their home and protecting their queen. In Season 3, Episode 1, Parathon, Odu celebrates with Maxor and Kaor and Prince Mondino with all of the tribes with a friendly race, to show their solidarity in the face of potential annihilation. However, wanting the glory of a tribal win trumps everything else. In the end, Kaor quickly claims victory because Kaz was in the winning car and he was a close friend to the boy. So in his mind, it counts. This resulted in a hilarious argument amongst the tribes. The last time we see Odu-Bathax is in episode 12, Son of the Spirit Lands. He's seen at Tangav Toborn's funeral, honoring the Overworlder's sacrifice to save all of Param and one of the few creatures outside of the Danian tribe Odu respects. Odu-Bathax, Danian warrior. Odu-Bathax gains 5 energy for each Mandiblor you control. Flavor text reads, Odu-Bathax is the defender of the North Gate at Mount Pillar. Odu-Bathax, Reservoir Reclaimer. Danian Battlemaster Warrior. Earth 5. Expand Earth. Odu-Bathax gains Outperform Courage 5. Flavor text reads, Odu-Bathax never looks for trouble, but he always seems to find it. And that was the lore of Odu-Bathax. Apologize for the flubs here and there, but anyway, I really wanted to talk about Odu-Bathax because I thought he was not a Danian player, but he's one of the few ones that I thought was really cool. And it's a shame that we don't get much of him in the series, but hopefully once the series returns, we'll get much more with this character. But so far, this is what we know about Odu-Bathax and what he can do. And I'm always impressed where we find characters that create certain attacks, certain that's dedicated to them, and certain battle gear that's dedicated to them. and even rarer, finding new locations that is dedicated to a particular creature. But in any case, look forward to more lore videos in the future. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of Odu-Bathax, and are you a Danian player? Because personally, me, no. I could not figure out to make hive effect work like that, but I still think it's kind of cool. But in case, let me know what videos you want me to do in the future. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys later. Take care. Be safe. Peace.